Afternoon, everybody. My name is Ofente, and welcome to today's Ask the Expert. Today, we will be touching on social media, cyberbullying, and mental health. And our guest today is Kaylee Wood, who is a registered counselor with the Health Professions Council of South Africa and co-founder of Engage Support. Engage Support is a mobile app launched in schools and companies across Africa to encourage speaking up, reporting anonymously, tracking moods, and accessing mental health resources. She runs a private practice offering counseling to children, teens, and adults, and is passionate about public speaking, mental health, and social media. Kaylee focuses on raising awareness about pressures of today's online world and sharing tools to cope better. Her work has been recognized with the News 24 Young Mandela Award of 2023 and inclusion in the Forbes 30 Under 30 list 2024. Welcome, Kaylee, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kaylee Wood. I'm a registered counselor and founder of a mental health platform called Engage Support. Engage Support is an app that we use to spread resources and talk about mental health. There's also a lot of different coping techniques, mood trackers, journaling, checklists, everything around empowering ourselves to take control and to support our mental health, as well as there is a chat to counselor part of the platform as well. So, in terms of social media is such a big part of our daily lives. I think the fact that we're on technology right now, spreading awareness about mental health and talking about social media and mental health using social media is incredible. Without social media, we wouldn't have been able to do a talk like this. I'm in Cape Town at the moment. You might be anywhere in South Africa, but actually you might be anywhere in the whole entire world. And we have access to each other to engage and talk about social media benefits, dangers, negatives, and spread awareness and talk about the educational aspects of it through technology. So for me, that's a huge, huge benefit. In terms of some of the other positive ways that social media can actually support our mental health, I think there are, yeah, so many different ways, but social media can be a huge and powerful tool when used mindfully. It allows us to connect with supportive communities, share our experiences, access mental health resources, find inspirational stories of resilience. For many, social media provides a sense of belonging and it normalizes our conversations and mental health that were once stigmatized. Social media, yes, there are benefits and yes, there are dangers. And I think we often talk too much about the dangers and the negatives. I think we have to be aware of the dangers, but social media can be a powerful, powerful tool when used correctly. So, for example, for those of you here, how many of you guys like donuts? Think of like a Krispy Kreme donut. I love donuts, but I know if I have too many donuts, I'm going to feel sick. I'm going to be tired. I'm really not going to be happy. So I know that I can have two or three and then I'll be happy. So that's like social media. If we have too much or we engage too much with the negatives, it's like having too many donuts and we start to feel ill. So we've got to use social media mindfully and have quality screen time. And there are so many different ways, like I've mentioned now, that it can support our mental health. Yes, social media can drain our mental health and have negative consequences on our mental health. But if used purposefully, intentionally, and mindfully, it can really help and support our mental health. So, another question is many people compare themselves to what they see online. How can somebody protect their self esteem and mental well being in a world of constant scrolling? And I think this is such an important question because we need to remind ourselves that social media is a highlight reel. It's a highlight, a spotlight of the real full story. It's not the full story. What I post on Instagram is 1% of what's happening behind the scenes. And I want to ask everybody that is live with us today, when you're online, how many of you guys feel supported? And how many of you guys feel unsupported? How many of you feel a part of something? And how many of you feel obsessed with it? How many of you feel happy and confident? And how many of you feel uncomfortable or self-conscious? A lot of times we feel all of that all in one go. And the thing about social media is when we're scrolling, social media is designed to keep us scrolling. So if we just look at, for example, Instagram Reels or TikTok Reels or TikTok videos, they're so short, YouTube Shorts even, they're so short that they hold our attention, but we can just scroll and scroll and scroll, and we never get to where, like, we've never gone past a video that we've seen before. We don't enjoy it, cool, we just scroll to the next one. Don't enjoy it, cool, scroll to the next one, scroll to the next one, scroll to the next one. And that's how social media is designed. It's designed to hook our attention, keep us there, keep us stuck. And that can make us feel uncomfortable, but it can also drain us. I often, if I go to a shopping center, there's so much happening. There's lights, there's things to buy. And sometimes I get so overstimulated. And that's the same with social media, is we're just going through information after information after information. And it has a really, really big way of making us feel overwhelmed. So how do we protect our self-esteem? Is we need to remind ourselves that obviously it's just a spotlight. It's a short part. It's not the full story. We need to curate our feeds by following accounts that uplift us, not ones that trigger comparison, because I can go onto Instagram and I can see my friend doing something and I can start to compare myself. Why am I not doing that? Why am I not good enough? And the thing is, if I constantly engage in that mindset, that's really where it's going to take over. So we need to practice gratitude, focus on our own values and progress, and taking intentional breaks from scrolling can really help us protect our self-esteem because at the end of the day, social media is such a comparison-driven space. So focus on quality screen time, not quantity. Don't focus on if we think of a jet ski goes very, very fast over a large amount of water in a very short amount of time. That is like scrolling quickly. We don't want to jet ski over water. We don't want to jet ski over so much information. We rather want to scuba dive. We want to go deeper into the information and really just take it in, but taking in that positive information, ones that uplift you, not ones that make you feel bad about yourself. Because at the end of the day, we're not using social media to make us feel bad. We're using social media to educate us, to create awareness, but to support us and uplift us. So if you're using social media, which I'm sure you guys are because you're on this Facebook Live, please follow accounts that make you feel good about yourself. Follow information, follow accounts that bring you up and positively impact your self-worth, not bring you down. Another question is, cyberbullying affects both young people and adults. What warning signs can parents, teachers, or even friends look out for? So I think a very, very key kind of focus point for noticing warning signs is sudden changes in behavior. And that can be anything from withdrawing from social interactions to avoiding devices, mood swings after being online, difficulty sleeping, a drop in academic or work performance. Sometimes the signs are subtle, like being secretive about what's happening online or online activity, or becoming unusually anxious when receiving notifications. Remember, bullying, I often get this question of, how is bullying different? Or why is there so much more bullying nowadays than there was 10, 20 years ago? The thing is, bullying hasn't necessarily changed. There has always been bullying, right? If you think about being on the school playground 10, 20 years ago, bullying was happening, bullying was around, but the difference was it was face to face. If I'm in a school, I am on the school playground. There's 20 kids, maybe 30 kids, 40, 50 kids. The bullying was contained, a teacher saw it, they intervened and they stopped it. Nowadays, bullying is happening over and over and over. So if we think about it, now bullying happens on the school playground. Somebody video records it on their cell phone, posts it online. That physical bullying has now spread, and it is now going to hundreds of thousands of people. It has the potential of going viral. The other thing is, if I'm being cyberbullied, I've got my device. I've got the potential of always being cyberbullied. There's no difference between home and school. There's no difference between work, because that's the thing is bullying happens at work and at school. It happens anywhere. And if I'm being cyberbullied, it can happen in my bedroom. It can happen in my bathroom. It can happen in my kitchen. No matter where I am, if I've got my device, I've got the potential of being cyberbullied. And I'm not saying that to scare you guys, but I think it is. I believe knowledge is power and power is education. So the more we know, the more we can change, the more we can interact. And if we see bullying happening online, what can we do about it? There's so many things. Firstly, don't engage, don't respond, because that often just escalates the situation. What we first have to do is take screenshots. That's evidence. Then report the abusive account and then block it. And it's really important that we do it in these steps, because if I block and then screenshot, and I can't report it because I've blocked the account. So really important. 1, take screenshots for evidence. 2, report the account. 3, block it. And evidence, so screenshots, messages, that is really important if further action is needed. We also need to lean on trusted family and friends, or professionals for support. Talk about it. You don't have to go through this alone. And then step away from the platform when needed. So protecting your peace comes first. Please, if you are being cyberbullied or if anything is happening, step away, protect yourself, tell somebody. If you are a child, if you're a teenager, talk to an adult. If you are an adult, talk to somebody that you trust. And if there's nobody you can talk to, phone SADAG 0800 12 0800 567 567. That's a suicide crisis line. 0800 456 789. Phone somebody, talk to somebody, because you don't have to go through it alone. Social media can sometimes feel completely overwhelming. What are some simple boundaries or habits that people can set to have a healthier online experience? So set specific times for scrolling. Use app timers. Keep your devices out of your bedroom. This is really going to help you improve rest. And also it's going to help encourage you not to sit in bed at night and just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Mute or unfollow accounts that don't serve your well-being. Accounts that make you feel bad or trigger you. Unfollow them. And really just be intentional about your use. So go on social media with purpose instead of mindless scrolling. Next question is, how do you suggest starting a conversation with a teenager or a young person who may be experiencing cyberbullying but doesn't want to talk about it? This is a really, really good question. So I think what we've got to do is really just approach the situation with the idea of connection, 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 and focus on empathy and curiosity rather than judgment. You can try even starting by sharing your own observations. So for example, something like, I've noticed you've been feeling upset when you're online. Do you want to talk about it? Or I see that you've been really jumpy when you've been getting messages on your device. Is everything okay? Do you want to talk about it? So just letting them know that you are there to talk about it, that you are there and you respect this space, but you can also be a safe space for them to lean on. sometimes offering indirect support, like asking your opinion on general bullying, um, might be kind of an open door to a conversation. So something along the lines of, um, oh my word, have you seen this bullying case that is in the news recently? What do you think about it? Just having an indirect kind of starting point of conversation might really just open that conversation. And I think at the end of the day, we also just want to make people feel like they're not going to be judged, because a lot of times people might feel embarrassed that they're being bullied. And we want them to know that it's okay, it's not their fault. And obviously, if there is a bully, we also just want to encourage them to talk about it, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it's fun being mean to somebody. And we really just want to encourage somebody who is the bully, they need to get help as well, just as much as the victim. So, another question, social media detoxes are becoming more popular. Do you think taking breaks from online platforms is helpful? And if so, how should we do it? So, yes, 100%. Taking breaks can be incredibly grounding and incredibly supportive. So, I think going somewhere where there's no signal is great. But just look, a detox doesn't have to be extreme. It can mean just logging off for a few hours, or logging off in the morning daily, having screen-free weekends is another option, or just choosing to be intentional about your digital habits. So, an hour before bed. Digital detoxes don't have to be 24 hours or 48 or 72 hours. They can just be short, intentional moments of grounding and offline. Turn your phone or your devices to airplane mode, turn the signal off. That is a really good way to just engage in that. And I think at the end of the day, the key is balance. Step back whenever you notice your mood, sleep, or focus being negatively impacted. Another question, what are some coping strategies that someone can use if they are feeling anxious or depressed after spending time online? So I think a really big coping strategy is just stepping away from the screen and doing something grounding. So, something that is offline, something that is going to be self care or a coping technique. Go for a walk, journal your thoughts, practice deep breathing, call a supportive friend, call SADAG, call somebody that you can trust, but just shifting into offline activities that calm your nervous system and bring joy, like exercises of creativity, or exercises like running, walking, anything that gets the blood flowing, creativity, so drawing, journaling, writing, anything that can counteract online anxiety is really, really beneficial. Even if you are at the end of the day using a device, but for example, like journaling or going on a mental health app or doing something that is quality screen time that is going to make you feel good about yourself, listening to a meditation, listening to a mindfulness moment. Now, another question. Many people feel pressure to always be online and available. How can we balance being connected without it negatively affecting our mental health? So, yes, 100%. This is a huge, huge, huge important thing that I think we need to talk about. So, I think it really helps to set clear boundaries, communicate your availability, turn off non-urgent notifications. So a lot of times, I know Apple, for example, you can turn off focus. So when you turn on focus, like if you're driving, only the really emergency apps are going to turn on. And you can actually go on there and you can set what apps do you want. What apps do you want to show? What apps do you want to not show? What notifications do you want to receive? So, for example, myself, I always at night I have like my sleep focus come on, and I know only emergency phone calls and messages from certain people are going to come through, because otherwise every time I hear a notification I'm going to be woken up or I'm not going to sleep well. And we really just need to be intentional about which notifications are we getting when. So if you've got a smart watch, uh, it's another thing that's kind of encouraging us to always be online. I know even my phone can be in a different bedroom, but if I get a message, I'm going to get a notification and I'm going to read it. That is encouraging us to always be online. And it can be completely draining. So I think it's really important to just turn off non-urgent notifications and normalize not replying immediately. Oftentimes I get a question or somebody will say to me, Kaylee, you are so bad on your phone. It's terrible. Like, I know, but my phone is not there. I don't have my phone. I don't have my device to be online 24/7. That is not the point of a device. It's not the point of social media. And 50 years ago, it wasn't a problem if you took a few days to respond, but it is a problem now. People always comment about it. People always say, you've got so many messages, you don't respond. Yeah, I don't respond within 5 minutes because I'm also trying to be present in my daily life. For example, in my counseling practice, I'm not going to be sitting there talking to somebody and counseling them and constantly checking my notifications at the same time. That is not helpful. But also, if I'm with my 1-year old, I don't want to have my phone because that is taking time away. And also, at the end of the day, what am I teaching her? So we really just I think, yeah, if you take anything away from this, please don't feel pressured to be online all the time. You can respond to someone, okay, if it's an emergency, different story, but you can respond to someone in your own time. Don't feel pressured to respond to someone now. If somebody else is always responding now, that's okay. That's on them, but it doesn't have to be on you. Remember, being offline, it's not being unavailable. It's protecting your well-being so that you can show up fully when you are online, but also so that you can show up fully face-to-face in offline situations. What messages would, so this is another question, sorry, but what messages would I like to leave with anyone struggling with impact of social media or cyberbullying right now? So I think a really important message that I just want to share with everybody is you are not alone. What you are experiencing is valid. What you are feeling is valid. Social media can feel like the whole world, but it's actually only a part of life. Don't feel like you have to engage online 24/7, 365, because that's not healthy. Protecting your mental health is more important than likes, follows, online approval, comparison. Please reach out for support, set boundaries, and remember your worth is never defined by what happens online. You are important. Here are just some questions that are popping up from the audience. So, I often feel anxious when I see negative comments on my posts. How do I stop taking online criticism so personally? It's a really good question. Thank you. So remind yourself that negative comments usually say more about the person posting them than they do about you. I know it's really, really tough. Um, if feedback isn't constructive, don't give it power. Mute, block, or delete as you need. Surround yourself with voices that build you up and practice self-affirmation. One comment doesn't have to define your whole story. Another question, sometimes social media makes me feel left out or like I'm not good enough. How do I manage those feelings? Really, really good question as well. It's normal to feel that way. And it's normal to feel that way when we're constantly comparing ourselves, um, behind the scenes to someone's highlights. Remember, highlights, reels, images, Instagram, Facebook, it's 1%. 1% of the 99% of the story that's happening behind the scenes. When those feelings come up, pause, remind yourself this is one of the snapshots. It's not the full picture. Reconnect with real life experiences. Practice gratitude for what's present in your own life and follow accounts that remind you of your worth instead of making you question it. I know life can be tough, but please just take a moment, look after yourself. Um, Remember that metaphor that I shared in the beginning. It's not the whole. It's scuba diving, jet skiing. we don't want to scuba dive. I mean, we don't want to, haven't had enough coffee today. We don't want to jet ski online, because online, if I'm on a jet ski, I'm taking in so much information at a very short amount of time. We want to scuba dive. We want to engage. We want to interact with information that is positive, helpful, connection. So when you're online, think about the scuba diver. Scuba diving, seeing absolutely everything in high quality and high detail. Don't scroll quick. Take in the information. Another really important metaphor that I think can, reflect social media in the online world so well is, if we think about boiling water. If I put a raw carrot in boiling water, it's going to soften. If I put a a raw egg in boiling water, it's going to harden. It's going to obviously be a boiled egg. It's going to harden. If I put coffee beans in boiling water, it's going to transform the environment so that I can drink that. When we are under high stress and high pressure, like boiling water, think about the coffee bean transforming the environment for us to drink it. When you're online, don't be the carrot that gets softened. Don't be the egg that gets hardened. Be the coffee bean that transforms the environment. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's Facebook Friday with SADAG. I've really, really enjoyed chatting to everybody, and obviously I'm gonna answer all the comments as I go. So if I haven't responded to a comment yet, please note that I am gonna just pop on now and just answer all the questions. But guys, please, please, please feel free to message me, Facebook me, Instagram me if you've got any questions. We are here to support, but at the end of the day, you are not alone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kaylee, for the wise words. I know that there's so many people who have learned so much from this session. And to our listeners, please remember that social media doesn't define your worth. You are more than likes, comments, or follows. Take care of your mind the same way you take care of your body, with kindness and patience. You don't have to go through this alone. Whether it's cyberbullying or comparison or just feeling low after scrolling, there is help, there is support, and there is hope. You can reach out to the SADAG helpline on 0800 567 567, and you will speak to a counselor who will be there to support you. And please join us next week, Friday at 1 p.m., where we will be discussing unemployment and mental health. Thank you, everybody, and hope you have a lovely weekend.